Kanan.
Semi-Li, yeah.
We're the Soul Brothers. How you guys doing? Sammy wants to talk about signatures real quick.
Okay, so with the recent release of the KD10 and how little it has changed from the KD9, it had me thinking, what do you guys think about signatures not changing a lot or having a completely different shoe from last year's model? What do you guys... Not really, because I feel like when companies do stuff like that, like when they keep a shoe pretty similar, we bitch about it. We're like, oh, they didn't change anything. But then when they do change it up a lot and it looks nothing like the predecessor, we're like, dude, you guys should have kept, you know, the shoe a little bit. And then so I feel like we do that sometimes. But I just want to talk about it. Like, for example, what kind of pissed me off was when the Jordan line went from the 29 to the 30. Even the 28 to the 29, the zoom setup was exactly the same. So literally they kept the cushion setup exactly the same for 3 years straight. You know, even though the 28 was rumored to pop and you could feel it a lot more, it's still basically like the same, you know, cushion setup. So what do you feel about it? Like there's the KD9 10, of course, this exact same cushion setup. Traction's changed a little bit, but they didn't even fix the defect, and then they just changed the upper a little bit. And then there's the LeBron 12 to 13, the hex zoom pods. Even though they're a little bit different and the 13s are a little thicker, it's still hex zoom pods and they're still pretty similar. And then the Kyrie 2 to Kyrie 3, they kept the outsole curvature kind of, but then the zoom heel unit, even though it's, I mean, the Kyrie 2, Kyrie 3 is kind of a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
they brought some elements over. Sometimes they completely revamp, and it's definitely a problem, and everyone can agree. Like Curry 2 to Curry 3, right? That's a big problem. They made a mistake there, you know. So I am actually a big fan of companies not fixing something if it's not broken, right? So for instance, the KD. You know, the KD9 was a good shoe. We both liked the shoe, and one of the only real problem we had was the traction. They did change up the traction. They also, the one thing I have though is the KD10 is pretty much the same thing as the KD9 Elite, which you know, which was like, why? What are you doing? Why would you do that? Like, you know, I think the Elite should have been
the KD10. The
KD10. You know, and don't skip the Elite. Just go right to the KD10. Maybe that was just a little money grab for them. I don't know, but you know, if there's something, I don't want a shoe just to change just for the sake of changing. Personally, like I just want a good shoe, and like if they kept making the Kobe 9, like I would keep buying it.
But like, what if it was like the very, very similar, they just changed it up? Don't you feel cheated though, that they didn't really innovate? You know, even if it was good, you don't feel cheated that it's like there's like the same pattern or like the same thing that they used from last year, and they're like, oh, it's a new model, they just changed it a little bit, and then you don't feel cheated at all? No,
I mean, I just feel like the shoes don't last forever, right? So it would be one thing if you know, a shoe lasted forever, and they just kept putting out the same shoe, and it's like, dude, everyone already has that. Make something new. But shoes wear out, and depending on how much you play, they can wear out pretty fast. And when that shoe wear out, you know, like say you really like the Curry 1, it's your favorite shoe ever, it's perfect for you, right? Well, that shoe's gone. It's just gone. I mean, you can still find some pairs, a few pairs floating around, but you know, say you just really, really love Jordan 11s, it's your favorite shoe. Well, they're so limited and they sell out so fast, it's like,
but also
you can't get your hands on them.
For me, I did not like the 29 setup, even though a good amount of people did. I did not like the 29s. I did not like that setup. And then once they did the exact same thing as the 30s, I was like, what the hell? Like, I hate it, you know. So I guess on both ends. You can say that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Kyrie 2 transition to Kyrie 3 was really good. As in, like, they kept the elements the same. As in, like, the outsole curvature is really good. The traction, of course, is really, really good too. The cushion still sucks, but it's still like it looks different. And, you know, it's still like an updated design, but then it feels like they kind of like made it a little differently or a little bit better or whatever. But I feel like that's a good redesign, you know?
Yeah.
But like moving on to the KD9, KD10 from the KD9, I feel like they didn't change shit. And I feel like it was still, I don't know, I feel like they should have changed it a lot more. But, you know, I guess if you like the 9, that's a good thing. But I guess everyone has their own little opinion. You know, if the shoe's good, then you want it to stay the same. But, you know, whatever. But with that defect, though, I feel like they should have changed.
Oh, that's for sure.
You know what I'm
Any
saying?
defects you should change. I mean, I think shoes... See, the reason they're making so many changes to so many shoes is so they can get people to buy more shoes. It's a cash grab for them. That's all it is. And they know that, like, change the traction pattern or change the colorway or do something slightly different. And I think they almost do that thinking that, like if you're wearing a Kobe 10 right now, that's like kind of an old shoe, right? And everyone kind of knows, like any people on the court, if anybody knows about shoes, they kind of know that's an old shoe. It's not like retro old where it's like, oh, that's a dope retro. It's like, it's just kind of like an old new shoe, you know? Yeah. And so, you know, they kind of create that effect also. You don't want to be wearing like old fashioned unless it's like retro and it comes back in style. So it's kind of a cash grab for these companies, and I think it should be more like generations. So like Honda Civic, it'll go through generations, like, you know, cars. So like, you know, they came out with the new Honda Civic in I think 2013, and it lasted for a few years, and then they came out with a new body style, right? And in 2016, I think. So, and they make minor changes, right? But there's big overhauls every 2, 3, 4 years, and I think that's what they should do. If it's a good shoe, you know, if it's whack and nobody likes it, then yeah, change it.
I don't know, but it's just something that I thought of, and I feel like it is an issue. But, you know, whatever you do, someone's going to bitch about it. You know
For sure.
Saying? So it doesn't even matter. So I feel like, but one thing that does kind of piss me off is the defect. And still there in the KD10. But we'll see.
Oh, that's out of line.
Yeah, that is out of line. So,
but as a buyer, you vote. You make a vote. And you go, you know what? I'm not gonna buy that. Because I don't want to catch an L on it.
Exactly.
We will buy it just to test it for you guys. But, you know. So we'll let you know whether that is worth copping or not. But that's it. Just touching base with you guys. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one. Soul Brothers, later.
Peace.